That's nice. Some serious craziness going on there. Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at Symphobia 4 Pandora by Project Sam. The fourth in the Project Sam critically acclaimed Symphobia series is being touted as an instrument to boost your action, sci-fi, and horror scores. Now, just listening to the demos, I knew that this delivered that same quality of orchestral samples as the developer is known for, but aleatoric instruments tend to have some limitations, so I was pretty excited to have a look at the library and see what it was all about. Symphobia 4 downloads is 76 gigabytes. It's an orchestral sample set with a focus on aleatoric effects. It's got 7 different categories of combos, effects, tonal, pulses, clusters, risers, and percussion, and all of these instruments play back with the availability of 5 mic positions, including a mix, close, stage, far, and wide. Big looking forward to checking out here in the instrument is the sound design mode, as well as an adaptive sync, which looks really powerful. The library does require the free or full version of Native Instruments Contact 6 or 1.1 or higher, and is NKS compatible. The library normally sells for $659 US. I'll be sure to include a link to take you over to our friends at Timespace that were kind enough to get us a copy for review. Alright, I have Pandora. Here you can see it's a Contact Player instrument compatible with the free or full version of Contact Player 6. And it loads up, it's got 7 different categories here. Combos, effects, clusters, tonal, pulses, risers, and percussion. The video today here, I'm going to be playing through quite a few of the examples of the presets, as well as talking about some of the functionality and my thoughts along the way. It's like a first look, kind of, except it's a little bit different. Let's start out with the combos and dig right in. Right away, one of the biggest things about the library that is pretty exciting is the ability to have these transitional crescendo phrases. And you can adjust your beats. You can have it aligned to play on the next downbeat of your DAW, or you can put it in seconds. So just so we can hear it all, I'm playing at 120. I've got my click on, and we'll hear 4 beats. Now we'll adjust it to 8. Now, the thing about this instrument is you're able to adjust these, and once the slider turns red, it's showing you that you're stretching from the sample set. Up until then, you're selecting different sample sets that would work for that period of time, looking at your DAW tempo, as well as how many beats it's going to be across. This is a combo, so it's multiple layers of samples loaded up. Tutti Orchestra Crescendo. The Harp Ensemble Glissando. And the Timpani and Gran Casa Rolls. So all of these combos basically are loading up with 3 different samples from the other folders of the instruments with different combinations. You can see we've got a couple snapshots here. The one is the builder, and this one is the downfall. And then there's even more ways to manipulate that, but we'll get into those things in a little bit. Let's check out some more presets, which brings me to one of my biggest critiques of the library. Although I do have this on an SSD drive, it does seem to load a little bit slow. Now we've got 3 different layers on this patch, combo Brahms, and you can see it's the low ensemble burst, low ensemble wide burst, and low wide ensemble short. And you can see up here at the top of the keyboard we get switches, which will let us play. And it sounds really low, and I think that's because we're playing back -12 here. There's a couple pull downs here for the snapshots. We'll go ahead and move on to some more examples. Combos, ghouls, and ghosts. So this one's got the low winds cluster swells, the horns bending note swells, and strings ghostly swells. Let's just listen to those each individually. Now those are all synced to this master's sync control that they've built into it. Right now it's a 4 beat. You can change that here, as you can see. You'll also notice in the instrument that there's this nice information bar. You see it goes on and off different information as you're doing things. So right now it says, this strip is purged, no sound. It's pretty helpful. Strip loaded. It's kind of telling you some things. Let's check out some more combos. Here is the Haunted Swell. Here's Mad Monster. Some serious craziness going on there. This preset is called P for Pandora, and if this is the one I think it is, this is the one that really made me super excited about seeing the possibilities of the instrument. Down here in the blue section, we've got a couple things going on, and then up high, so this is the kind of thing you could build one cue out of, which I think is pretty cool. This one's Brahms, and then there's the degraded version. This preset's called Restless Riser. Again, takes just a little longer than all my other libraries to load. So that's an 8-beat. Let's see what happens when we really stretch this out. Let's go 14 beats. So that is a really nice sample, because I don't hear any degradation because we've stretched it in any way. And here we see it isn't until we get to 3 bars and 17 beats. Let's see how does this work here. So even with the samples of those strings, I don't really hear any fragmenting or formatting kind of happening with the samples being stretched out. Let's crank it all the way. Let's just see. Now we're hearing some obvious stretching once we've used the seconds and I've pulled it out to the maximum there. Let's go ahead and check out a couple more combos. This one's called the Scare Tactics. Now note that this is just shy of an octave. Some of them are about an octave and a half. Don't know if there's a particular reason. I guess it's probably the way that they've been orchestrated out, that they can cover this feel within the crescendo in about less than an octave. Now we have an ostinato machine, really. We've got this sample sets, all pulse strings. So we've got quarter notes, eighth notes, sixteenths, and then triplets for each. And those do need to be held down for the triplets to keep those, so that would be something you need to program in, I believe, because I just don't have enough hands to play anything else when I'm doing that. And what I really love about this way they've programmed so many of these Pandora presets is you do have different dynamic layers. So you can go from soft, and you don't really get as much of that bite from that timpani, all the way to really hammering it out. You can see the key switches up here. Oh, I've messed this up. We're going to move on. There's key switches up here, and you can change your 2T shorts as well. So these are all individual samples that we'll load up a little later to take a look at it. Let's go check out a couple more of the combos, and then we'll move on. Again, waiting. And so this just starts to give you an idea of how you might be able to shape a couple different instruments, stack them up, and create some cool things happening. Let's go ahead and move on to the effects folder. This is the Brass Horns and Bones Effects Collection. And as you can see, we've got different pockets of these throughout the keyboard, each one kind of building as you go across the keyboard there. This is a great time to kind of look at the sound design. This little thing here, this is when this arrow is lit up. So we were able to actually drag and start our samples at different places. And you can see we've got a number of effects. And now we've really turned this into something very different. We could also play it reversed. So that's just a little hint into some things you could do starting to use the sound design tool that's built into every one of the instruments. Let's move on to a few of more of the effects. We'll listen to a handful of these as well. These are horns and bones open And again, this is built with that sync control to make it a little longer. Really nice release samples on most of this stuff too. And if I'm kind of blowing through these because there's a lot of content, but you could see there's additional presets on a lot of these instruments. Low ensemble growls. Trumpet repetitions. Sustained, I guess. Let's see. Piano effects. Then quite a few strings. String ghostly crescendos. I think we actually heard this one in a combo. And then again, we've got a different version here. The ghostly crescendos, haunting wind. And you can see here, It's got a number of adjustments set up to give us a very different sound, all based on that same sample. Move along to another string, a low growl preset. Really nice. And again, on any of these presets, you'll see a triangle. If you have a triangle, you can click that and go into the sound design mode. Yeah, very playable. So it's called Wild Horror. It's another string effect preset. Mod wheel controls MIDI CC1, which is set for a dynamic crossfade. Listen to a couple winds. Here's the wind's low growl effects preset. We'll move along to the next folder, the clusters. This is the clusters, brass, horn, and bone dynamic chaos crescendo sync. This is a low ensemble wide crescendo swell synced. Yeah, just so meaty these bites are. And some string cluster collections. This is the high collection. Move on to the tutti cluster orchestra dim. Let's see what this one's all about. A little slow on the load. Sounds fantastic. All right, we got a tutti orchestra shorts. this might be a good time to look at some of these microphone positions. The mix is what we've been listening to. This is the close and the stage, the far, and the wide. I have a feeling most of us are going to get a lot out of the mix preset for the mic position. It just has so much presence, yet I hear a really nice amount of room. It just sounds like a very well curated mix. Wind cluster, high, short. And it looks like we got a couple. Dr. Freeze. Let's go ahead and check out the wind cluster swells. And move on to the tonal instruments. Tonal brass horn dynamic crescendo. This one has a sync feature. And a sforzando crescendo with the horns. And then we've got horns short. I think this will give us key switches at the bottom, like the others, to do. Also have trills. Kind of feel like could have used a little bit of a longer sustain on those shorts. Just usability wise. Let's see what's our tonal brass low ensemble bursts. I think we heard this one in one of our combos. Yeah, so much bite in this brass. Really great recordings. See, here we got a whole note, and we didn't get it in the horns. But it's only for the diminuendo, so it looks like, because we're going to pull up the shorts and see. I think we're only going to get 16th. Oh, we got 16th, an 8th, and a quarter. Now we've got tonal brass, low ensemble wide. Now what I'm wondering with this kind of thing, since it's syncing, can I play multiple notes? Can I do something like... play on the downbeat, the next bar. I'm wondering if it's programmed in, if it would actually stack it and everything, even if it started at the beginning, your MIDI notes start at a different point, if it's going to line up and hit at the certain point, an end point, all of them together. We've got the piano shorts. Very interesting. Some conlingo low strings. Some string glissandos with syncs. That's nice. They are a little bit quieter than everything else. I'm not sure what that is. Now I've got the tonal string mid glissandos. So let's go ahead and stack our low glissandos and put them both on the same MIDI channel. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can just stack them up. They got the same configurations. Got conlingo mid. So if you hold it down, you get the bounce. If you do quick, you get the conlingo. Let's listen to some of the full orchestra. Here's the tutti tonal orchestra burst. And we got several similar patches. It seems that they're following a format, which is nice. So you've actually got dynamic crescendos, dynamic diminuendos, dynamic sforzo crescendos, sforzando, excuse me. Yeah, just really nice sound. Let's go ahead and listen to the orchestra shorts. And you've got dynamic layers on these as well. Very nice. Let's check out the wind tonal instruments. Here's the wind high with grace notes. Okay, low velocity is an up grace note. High velocity is a down. Very nice. And then winds high, shorts. Here's low wind dynamic sorts on crescendos. And again, you've got your sync beat machine. Let's listen to the tonal wind low shorts. Very nice. All right, let's move along. Now we've got these pulses, cluster pulses, brass, horns, and bones, crescendo stack. Yeah, very nice. And we haven't listened to any of the muted instruments. Here's cluster pulse brass trumpets muted crescendo stack. And trumpet rips. Very nice. Let's listen to the trumpet open crescendo. Okay. Let's move on to the string cluster pulses string mids. Very nice. Okay, very cool. And then we've got cluster pulses winds high. Again, I'm at 120 BPM. Everything's tempo synced. We got two different dynamic layers triggering very different sounding samples there, which is kind of a neat way to play off of the instrument. Very fun. That's the pulses folder. Little quick peruse through those. We'll check out the risers. String downers collection. And we can see we've got a couple different presets. And what's kind of cool about these is you've also got you got the ability to reset your effects, or a lucky button. I think that's a randomize. Let's check out a couple more of these riser presets. Okay, very nice. So we've got piano riser presets in the bottom. Piano di mezzo forte. Piano to fortissimo. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We've got some arco string risers. Piano. Piano di mezzo forte. Yeah, same setup there. Yeah, I've got some harmonics string risers. I like how they're set up as dynamics across the keyboard, and I like how you have a little over an octave. Playing with a little gate built in there. It's kind of fun. Solpont trims. Very tasty. Got that nice flutter to the bow on the string. And dynamics across the board. That's very cool. Now we've got the percussion. Oh, this is going to be fun. Here are our cinematic drum hits and rolls with the synchronize feature. See, we could even adjust it. We could do 3 beats, so. Yeah. Hits only, rolls only, effects collection. Suddenly you create a riser. So these cymbals, I don't know about you, but I, to this day, use Project Sam, True Strike, one of my absolute favorite orchestral percussion libraries. Just love the way it sounds. So I'm going to have to compare this and see what this might bring to the table, if it's something that I might replace my True Strike hits and rolls from cymbals, as well as the other instruments they offer up. So we got hard hits and soft hits as separate instruments for the Gran Casa. Let's see the tom-tom. Hits and rolls, sync patch. Got an effects collection for the gong here. Normal timpani hits. All kinds of effects and stuff. Effects rolls in the timpani. And it hits only for timpani. And we got Tom's ensemble. Listen to the hits and rolls of this. Actually, there's a timpani sustain roll that I want to hear. I wonder if it's controlled by the mod wheel for your dynamics. Oh, that's meaty. Yeah, let's jump back to that timpani roll. Sustain rolls. I just want to see how this one is set up. See if it's set up with the sync. Oh, it's got the crossfade. That's what I thought. Now, I'm kind of surprised they didn't build this with the timpani rolls and with 2 more octaves of timpani hits. And let's go ahead and pull the timpani hits only here in and take a look and see if it stacks naturally or not. No, they overlap. So maybe there's another patch that they actually did that. I just missed it. Maybe this is hits and rolls synced. No, doesn't look like it. All right, let's move on to 2T percussion. All rolls synced. really nice sound. Of course, you can stretch it out. 8 beats. Once you get to 9, it'll start to be stretched. I personally would I think you can get away with 9. Let's see if we can get up to 12, what that sounds like if we hear the stretching. Arguable. And we'll listen to one more here. 2D percussion, timp, ground casa cymbals, roll, ring, sync. All right, thanks for sticking around through the end of the video. I think that this library's been touted as this action sci-fi horror score thing, but really this is just about having a really nice sample set of atonal instruments, and I really like the functionality, the usability of using this kind of synced, sync it to the beat, sync it to the timing, sync it to when your deck's downbeat is. I think this is going to be extremely useful. Sample set is really nice. I am going to have to compare some of this percussion to my True Strike samples, because I don't know. It sounds really nice to me, but is it going to beat out my sample set for Project Sam for the True Strike percussion from years ago? Are there things I might be using? That's really an interesting question for me to walk away from the video with. This is a real focus on the orchestral effects, and that's also the instrument's downfall. No way to do multi-sampled performances, phrases, legatos. This is all about creating atmosphere and cinematic mood and using a little bit of those aleatoric orchestral concepts in your own scores, albeit very quickly with the way the engine is put together. My real critiques are, I really would have liked to see some longer articulations in some of the instruments, as well as some shorter, even shorter. Like, I know there's some 16ths. I would love to see some staccattissimos in some of these strings. I think those would have been something I would have really loved. Enough about my thoughts, though. What do you think? What do you think about Pandora? Is this something that would be useful or helpful for your production? Is this the kind of library that you would be able to use in some of your work? Will it add extra dimension and flavor? And do you think it really stands up to the Symphobia series line? I think it augments it for sure. It's a kind of a different beast, in my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. Always love your support. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to head over to samplelibraryreview.com for the latest news, reviews, and a weekly deals page.